Gong Xi Fa Cai and welcome. Today on That Lovell-Boland Life we are celebrating our first Lunar New Year on the channel.
Yep, and in this video we're looking at some of the biggest CNY superstitions.
But before we get into it, we just wanted to say, if you're new around here, we just wanted to introduce ourselves. I'm Sam, this is my wife Rianne, and we are British expats who have called Singapore home since 2017.
Yep, and we make content right here in the Lion City about the best things to do, best things to eat, hotel tours, hikes, and much more.
And if that sounds something that interests you, then please do consider subscribing to our channel.
Now, as we approach the Year of the Tiger, we thought we'd pick out some interesting superstitions, ones that we followed since we've moved to Asia.
And as you may know, Lunar New Year is all about tradition, so we wanted to pick out some things that you should or shouldn't do if you want to have a healthy and prosperous New Year.
Absolutely, but before we get into it, please do give this a big thumbs up and enjoy the video, and also tell us what are your wishes for the new year.
Number one on the list is avoid washing your hair or getting a haircut. So please forgive us, we are not Mandarin speakers, but I feel like we kind of need to go through it for this first reason.
Absolutely, we might just get the pronunciation incorrect, but we are trying, so sorry in advance is what we're saying.
Yeah, so this first thing is hair should not be cut or washed on, I think, the first day of Chinese New Year, because hair in Mandarin means fa. So you saw us at the start of the video, we said Gong Xi Fa Cai. It's a welcome, it's a greeting that people say at the start of Chinese New Year to wish prosperity onto other people. So fa in hair has the same pronunciation and the same Chinese character as fa in Fa Cai, and that means to become wealthy. So basically, if you are cutting your hair or you're washing your hair, you are washing away your fortune.
Absolutely, but that's not to say that you shouldn't get your hair cut or wash your hair before Chinese New Year. And a lot of hairdressers in Singapore actually do charge a little bit extra, because a lot of people do take the opportunity to have a new hairstyle going into the new year. The second superstition is don't wash clothes. So another superstition is to not wash clothes on day 1 and 2 of Lunar New Year, and that's because it's celebrated as the water god's birthday. So if you were to wash your clothes in water on those days, then it's quite disrespectful to the water god. And also, if you're washing away the water, then you're kind of washing away the wealth, which is kind of similar to Sam's point in cutting your hair.
And as the person who does most of the washing in this house, I'm quite happy, which means I have a couple of days off. Number 3 is don't sweep or take out rubbish. So as you may or may not know, there is a theme running through these first few superstitions, and basically if you sweep, it means you may be sweeping away your wealth.
Yeah, and I actually have a personal experience of this, because I used to live in Vietnam and we had a housekeeper, and she was telling us like, no, you can't sweep on the first few days of Lunar New Year because you're sweeping away your luck. And over there in Vietnam, it's called Tet. And there are very similar, superstitions, of course, and even they give orange trees to each other. So it's a really great celebration, not just here in Singapore, but all across Southeast Asia. Number 3, A, and if you know, you know, don't use scissors or knives. So knives are actually to be avoided during Chinese New Year, and that's something that I wasn't aware of. It makes sense because it can cause an accident, and that would obviously be very inauspicious during Chinese New Year time, and also lead to the depletion of wealth during the coming year ahead.
Yeah, so all of these are really interesting when you really look into the background of the reasons why. Scissors, basically the two blades of the scissors, are seen as sharp lips. So if you want to avoid quarrelling with people in the new year, just avoid using scissors. Number 5, avoid breaking a bowl, a plate, or glass. So another thing that makes total sense for us, because breaking basically means something is incomplete. So if you do break, say, a bowl, a plate, a glass, it could lead to bad fortune, monetary loss, or even family breakup.
Yeah, it's quite drastic. If you do break a bowl or a glass or anything, apparently you should cover it with red paper, put it back together. I mean, red is obviously a very lucky color in Chinese New Year times and Lunar New Year. So that's the way to get around it. And also something people say is Sui Sui Ping An, which means all year round, safe and sound. Number 6 on the list is don't wear black or white. So as you can see from our outfits, we're wearing red, pink, bright, positive colours. That's to bring positive energy into the new year. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, red is really seen as a colour of luck, which is all about bringing prosperity into the new year. Black and white is kind of mourning colours, so you really want to avoid bringing that negative energy into the new year.
And that's why if you do watch TV at all over the Chinese New Year period, you'll see that newscasters or anyone on TV is wearing bright, beautiful colours. Number 7, keep children from crying. So again, patterns are emerging with these superstitions, and it can be said that if you start the year right, it will repeat, repeat, repeat and follow, and you'll be prosperous and have a healthy, happy new year. So basically, if you are crying or if a child's crying, it symbolizes bad luck for the rest of the year, so you just don't want to take the risk. I don't know how you stop a child crying, but it's said that you should definitely try.
Maybe bribe them with all the CNY goodie treats and stuff like that. That will keep them happy. Number 8 is no unlucky words. Now, of course, no one wants to talk about negative things during Lunar New Year, so it's really best to avoid, talking about sickness, poverty, ghosts, or even death, because obviously that would bring more negative thoughts into the house during that time. So one way that people do get around talking about these topics, if they really, really have to, is to say, with euphemism, say someone's gone or passed on, but they wouldn't necessarily say they've died.
And even numbers are to be avoided. For example, we avoided one on one of these reasons. We said 3A instead of this number, because in Chinese, that number is similar to death, so it's best to avoid it.
Yeah, the pronunciation is similar to the word death, so which is kind of unfortunate for me because I am born on that day.
Number 9, avoid lending or borrowing money. So wealth and prosperity are a common theme with these superstitions, and basically lending or borrowing money is a big no-no. If you are borrowing money, it means you could end up borrowing for the rest of the year. And if you lend money, it means you could end up with an economical loss racking up throughout the year.
And it said if you're owed money, that you shouldn't be going to ask for it during Chinese New Year. And if you are the lender, you should only ask for your money back after the 5th day of Chinese New Year to avoid bad luck. And lastly, no odd amounts in the Ang Pao. So one of the great things about Lunar New Year is Ang Pao, which are the red envelopes which are given to children, unmarried people, and also the elderly. So you should be giving crisp, brand new notes into these Ang Pao because it's brand new year, brand new notes, right? And also to note is you should not put any odd numbers in there. So we're talking 5, 15, because in Chinese belief that good things come in doubles. So you want to be using even numbers. But another thing to note is you don't want to use 4 or 40 because, as we mentioned before, 4 sounds like death, so those are unlucky numbers.
Yeah, but one side note for us, because we came to Singapore married, came as a double, we never received an Ang Pao.
No. And thank you so much for watching.
We really do hope you have a prosperous New Year period and have many fantastic reunion dinners.
Absolutely. But before we go, please do give this video a big thumbs up and do consider subscribing if you haven't already. It really helps others find us and push us up in the YouTube algorithm, and we really appreciate it.
But before we go, we just wanted to leave you with the words of one of our favourite TV characters, Michael Gary Scott.
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
See you on the next one.